Hi, welcome to Let's Talk, the Patricia Show. Okay, so there's an affirmation that I really like this affirmation from the moment I first heard it because it not only does it bring money to you, but it brings everything to you because everything is made of an atom and everything is made of substance. So this one, so what I did for this affirmation, I did it at night as I went off to sleep, and I didn't even do it in the day. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. And I would just say that kind of like singing it. There is an abundance of spiritual substance as I went off to sleep. Within 30 days, I don't know, my life just began to change drastically. Looked like I had so much food in the refrigerator, I had to buy a freezer. I was going to I was always going shopping every Sunday. But I just looked up and had an abundance of clothes, more than I had ever had. I looked up and money was just flowing so much in my world. It was coming out of my ears. It's like I looked up and all type of, anything with substance was just flowing in my world. And I had to actually, like, what is going on? And I had to remind myself, oh, that's right. I'm doing that affirmation at night. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. Because it doesn't just focus on bringing you money. Some of these affirmations, if you say, like, I will earn $10,000 a month, that is what is focused on, bringing you $10,000 a month. But if you're increasing the living substance in your life, that's everything. Because everything in this world is made of substance. Clothes, food, shoes, everything is made of living substance. So when you say there is an abundance of spiritual substance, you're going to have an abundance of everything in your world. And I think it was with me and my husband, we were together then. And I remember him saying, what in the world are you doing? Like, what is going on? Where are you getting all this money from? Why is money just coming to you? And I told him what I was doing. He began to do the affirmation, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, he hit the lottery for a substantial amount. So I really like this affirmation. And, I wasn't the one that made this up. I think I got this affirmation from Fillmore. I think Charles Fillmore. That was his name. I think he's the guy who started Unity Church. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did start Unity Church. And I had read one of his books back in the day. And when I read his book, that affirmation, he had a lot of affirmations in there, but that affirmation really stood out to me. And that's the one that, and I think for me, it probably stood out because it was spiritual substance. That's probably why. But anyway, I want to make sure, he's deceased now and everything, but I want to make sure that he still gets credit, or his memory gets credit, or his church gets credited, that he was the one that actually I got that particular affirmation from. So now you could choose to say the affirmation in the daytime or say the affirmation at night before going off to sleep, like a lullaby. There is an abundance of spiritual substance. There is an abundance of spiritual substance as you just go off to sleep. You could choose to do it that way, or you could choose to do it in the day and the night. You could do it all day during the day. Just repeat that affirmation during the day while you're out and about or busy or whatever. And then Do it, when you go to sleep at night. Or you could choose to do it the way I did it, just at night and not and do it in the day. Now, affirmations are simply affirming that you already know. So you already know there's an abundance of spiritual substance. So you're just affirming it to your world, in your world, so that your subconscious mind can take that in and begin to create whatever it is you're trying to create. So if you're trying to create, there's an abundance of spiritual substance, and you put that out there to the universe, it's going to begin to give you that. And that's all affirmations are, affirming that you already know, or affirming something that you want to happen. For example, if you want to be a millionaire, a lot of people, well, I know a few, that they'll just go around and say, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, because they're affirming that they are a millionaire. And then your subconscious mind brings it into your reality. And then you will be a millionaire, because those people that I know definitely became millionaires, and a couple of them went on to be billionaires, because they thought, hey, if it works for me when I'm saying this for a millionaire, it will surely work if I want to be a billionaire. And they went on to do that. So you are affirming this in your world that this is true. And then your subconscious mind brings about the reality of making it true in your world. So once you affirm something like I am rich, then your subconscious mind will bring it and make and affirm that into your world, where you'll look up and you will be rich. But what you all mostly do is you're constantly, especially poor people, you're constantly affirming that you're poor, that there's never enough, and that there's a shortage. You're constantly doing that. And that's why a shortage or lack is always coming in your life. Like if I say to you, oh, I just bought a Bentley or something, and you'll say, oh, I can't afford to get a Bentley. Oh, you can afford a Bentley? Girl, I can't even afford a Bentley. You're affirming you can't afford it. Or you say, I don't have enough money to buy that. You're affirming you don't have enough money. You see, listen to your conversation, or somebody who's a friend of yours who's poor also. Listen to their conversation. You're constantly throughout the day affirming that there's a shortage. There is a financial shortage. But rich people don't do that, because throughout the day, their mind is always on investments, what they're going to invest in, how much money they're going to invest, how much money they're going to get from investment. So it's always on money and the abundance of money. So they're affirming that, yes, there is a lot of money, and they're affirming that in their world. And then poor people, you're affirming, yes, there is a shortage in the world. But in actual truth, there's no such thing as a shortage. Look outside. Is there a shortage of a grass? Is there a shortage of trees? Is there a shortage of bushes? No. In God's world, there is no shortage. There is only unlimited abundance. That's it. Unlimited abundance. And that's how you have to start thinking, because poor people don't think about unlimited abundance. You have to start affirming in your world that there is unlimited abundance. One of those rappers, I think it was P. Diddy, when he was poor and first, came about, he was saying that he used to imagine that his money was coming from God. That God was his father, and that God was giving him money. And that's where his money came from. He didn't come from the records, the music. He always affirmed that it came from his father, which was God. And look how rich he is. Clearly, he's a billionaire. I also heard Kanye, what's his name? Kanye West say that one time, as well as the other Beyonce husband. What is his name? Jay-Z. I've also heard them say, but all of those young men are billionaires. All of them, you see. Because I remember when I was on the path of poverty, and I would always, people who had money would always tell me, don't think of the money coming, when you get money, don't think of it coming from your job. They would say, think of it as coming from God. And that was really hard for me to do. So everybody, you're going to have to find out what's best for you to do when you're doing these. But I know for me, that was a little, because my mind was so much poverty at the time, so much filled with lack about money, till it wasn't easy for me to think about God. Is this my job? Is the money is coming from God? It was hard for me because I used to sit up and write out in my paychecks all the money that I had to pay out, which was, I was creating just more and more lack. So I was like, okay, I get paid Friday. This is all my bills. This is what I have to pay out. I was so shocked. One day I just looked up and I wasn't doing that anymore. I don't even know when I stopped it, but I'm so glad I got over that and stopped it, because that was one thing I thought I would never be able to stop. Adding up my bills every week before I receive the paycheck. So this is, I get before, like I know I'm going to get paid Friday. So this is what I have to pay Friday. I'm so glad I got out of that. But now I've grown so much spiritually. My consciousness has grown so much. I have a wealth mindset now. So now it's easy for me to think of my money comes only from God. See, that would be easy for me to get now. So you just have to see where you're at. If it's easy for you to think of your money not coming from your paycheck, but it's coming directly from your Father, God, then try that technique and see if that works for you. If it doesn't work now, just put it aside, because it will later as your consciousness expands and grows. If you are a person who are adding up your money, like you're going to get paid Friday and this is what I got to pay out of this, stop it right now, because you're focusing on lack. Because after you get through going through that, what you got to pay, then you're going to say, and then I don't have any more money left to pay the rest. You see, you're focusing on lack. So try with all of your power to not be trying to focus on paying out bills. Just get your check and pay what you're supposed to pay, and that's it. But take your mind away from it, because you're just creating more lack. What you focus on is what you create. Remember that. Try to keep your mind off things you don't want to create. Keep your mind on only the things that you want to create. I remember having an interview from Oprah Winfrey, and that was one thing that she said about her coming into all of her money. She simply focused on what she wanted and took her mind off of that she didn't want. So she didn't want to manifest lack in her life. So she kept her mind away from lack in her life. She only wanted to manifest wealth and abundance. So that's what she kept her mind on. This stuff don't work for some people, and some people it don't work for. It works for everybody when you apply it correctly. It'll work for you like it worked for Oprah, like it worked for Tupac, like it worked for Jay-Z or anybody else. You just have to apply it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely day.